Okay guys, what is up? See, this is another series of the Juno, and here, first things first, let's get started. First things first is about the 8% increase in the fare prices on Uber. Okay, now in recent times, if you work in Abuja, if you work in Nigeria, you realize that there has been so much up and down when it comes to the fuel prices of things, or the fuel prices in general, right? And I think quite recently, I got fuel for I think it was 700. I've never known any filling station in and around the Abuja axis to sell fuel for 700. But I think that's like the normal price now. Only the NNPC are still around the 600 range, 617 or something like that, right? So clearly, there's definitely going to be a commensurate or you know an equal increase in the fare prices. Hopefully, this has not been initiated yet because the level of volatility that you have with this fuel pricing is not making things more stable. For instance, I made a video like, let's say, about a year ago about how a person could come home with certain amount of money, right? There's just a limit considering how much the fares are at the time. And then I think in my video, an example I gave was that a person told me that they were coming back home with as much as 60,000 for a day. And I'm like, this is impossible if you work in Abuja. But right now, this is way more than possible if you work in Abuja, right? So that's like the dynamics we're working with right now. So there's been a fuel increase, a fare increase on fuel. Also fuel increase, yeah? And I think that going forward, we should also expect a fare increase as well. That's number one. Number two is the CNG conversion thing. Compressed natural gas, I think that's the full form. Now, we've been on and off this news about the CNG conversion because we believe, or they said that the CNG is a much better gas for usage for our vehicles, and secondly, it's a lot more cheaper than the normal fuel that we presently use. But I think the trick is around the conversion area of it, because a couple of vehicles that I've seen, not physically anyway, but online, I noticed that when they say it's been converted, it's just it's like a gas cylinder that they implant in their trunk, in the boot, right? And I'm just thinking, what's the functionality of this? Because it's a boot space, right? I'm supposed to carry some things there. It's supposed to be reserved for when I have luggage and things like that. But if I now have my actual fuel pump or tank in there, I don't know. Okay. Personally, I'm yet to, I guess, go down that lane. I've not tried anything relating to CNG. I've just been hearing and picking up on details here and there. And one of the latest details was for anybody looking to convert a vehicle from whatever it is now to a CNG vehicle, if you are a ride-sharing driver, you're going to get 50% off the actual price. Yeah. I hear that the commercial vehicles, like the normal taxis, they're doing it for them for free. But for ride-sharing guys, you get 50% off. Although some union members were complaining about it, but anyway, that's the news. I don't want to have to add my 2 cents to it. So personally, I'm still a bit skeptical about it, because I'm sure there are hazards that we are yet to understand. And it's just so much easier, to run the vehicle the way it was meant to be run, like from manufacturing. If it was manufactured to run on CNG, then of course no problem. But right now it's like there is this need for a change and we don't just know how safe it is. If you've gone down that lane or if you've tried it out, please let us know. Give us an opinion on what you think. Yeah, it would be most helpful. Okay. So, and secondly, if you also want to get in on this 50% CNG conversion, I think you have to download the app. I think it's My CNG. That's the name of the app on the Play Store. I don't know for other platforms, but on Play Store it's My CNG. I've tried to register and all that. There is an OTP they're supposed to send, but I'm not getting the OTP. I don't know if it's a network problem or it's a downtime, whatever it is, but it's not really going through for me. But you could try. The name of the app, My CNG. So you need to register on that platform, and I think you would get more instructions on what to do if you're really willing to go through with it. Okay, next is I also want to tell you about well, you know, we are already in the dry seasons, like the dry months, not season anyway. It's the dry month. Some will be out of it anyway. So it's very important for you, even after the dry season, that you have one of two apps, which is either InDrive or Rider. These are two apps that a customer can bargain prices. You know, they can either increase or reduce it depending on what they're willing to pay or to spend on that distance or on that ride or on that journey, whatever, trip. So you cannot, it's just not logically right to only use Bolt or only use Uber on a walk. It just doesn't make sense, all right? Unless these guys are running a whole lot of promotion, which I believe they are right now, just because they're trying to compete in a market where you have InDrive and Rider, you know, just taking a whole lot of customers because of, you know, the flexibility in prices. So you have to have one of these apps. It could be Rider, it could be InDrive, it could be both. But also please be cautious. You might actually be running a loss. I still remember one time not long ago, maybe a week or two, on InDrive, you know, due to the dryness first of all, and due to the scarcity of trips. I was out on a Sunday and somebody booked me from if you're in Abuja, I guess you would know where I'm talking about. It's that I think it's Tropical Galleria, however the name goes, all the way to the Dawaki market for 3,000. God, I felt used, man. Maybe not that bad, but you know, like I felt wrong. That was so wrong a price for such a distance. That was so wrong. But desperation, and I guess I was just trying to get away from that area, but because it seemed like it was way too dry over there, and Dawaki was close to Gwarimpa, and Gwarimpa, you know, it's kind of like you will definitely get something good. So it's always important that you apply that rule we talked about in the other previous video, where if a trip is, say, if the distance is above 20 kilometers, make sure you times that kilometer, which is 20, by 1,000, not 1,000, 100, sorry. You times it by 100, which will give you 2,000, and then add an extra base fare of 2,000 to it, which means any trip that is around 20 kilometers should be paying you somewhere around 4,000. Okay, if it's not 4,000, honey, that is not a good trip. That is not a good trip. I'm not going to be very resolute on this, okay? You could go a little bit lower, like 37, 38, that's still fine. It's your choice. I'm just saying this is my own approach, this is my method, and I think it's only fair you get, so that by the end of the day, the counting, and you feel like, okay, it was a good day, it was an okay day, it was a fair day. It wasn't like I just carried people from pillar to post and I got nothing to show for it. That's just horrible, right? So very important that you make these calculations and know that because the customer will always pick the cheapest price, especially people who are very conversant with the app. They will always go for the cheapest and cheapest. So make sure you do your calculation and make sure that you're not being cheated just because you're desperate to do a trip. So finally, just as a bonus point, just in case you have somebody out there whose car is jerking, there's possibly or probably three causes or reasons why that could be happening. Number one is a worn-out spark plug, and number two is a coil. Number three is your malfunctioning fuel pump or a bad fuel pump. Now by jerking, this is what I mean. You're on the road, you're moving, and then you're matching your vehicle and it goes like, it shakes or it doesn't respond to as much amount of pedaling you're doing. Oh boy, amount of force you're applying to the pedal, right? If it doesn't respond to it as well, sometimes it could be spark plug, sometimes it could be coil, sometimes it could be your fuel pump is very dirty. Now, this brings me to what I really want to say. Your fuel pump needs cleaning from time to time. Okay, there is dirt coming in every time you buy fuel and it requires cleaning. Okay, so this is like a video of where I was actually cleaning mine. I couldn't believe just how much dirt was in there. The presumption is that the fuel we buy from filling stations are clean, right? But not really, they're not. He cleaned it, and he also had to clean the tank itself. It was so black, literally. So he had to clean it out and all that, and clean the filter and all that and all that and all that. So it's very, very important that as you buy your fuel, as you use your vehicle from time to time, try to check these things and make sure to clean them out. It will actually save you, some kind of repairs later. And secondly, don't drive your car too much on reserve. Okay, it actually makes your fuel pump overwork itself. I know this is quite hard considering how things are. Your fuel pump tends to overwork itself when the fuel level is too low, right? So it gets really hot and tends to malfunction. So if you can manage it, please don't drive your car on reserve for too long, right? I'm talking about not just the normal reserve. I'm talking about like the horrible reserve, the reserve where it's even below your fuel gauge and things like that. Yeah. So okay, so the next time let's talk. All right.